Welcome to Local Point, your life, your stories, with your host, David Gale.
Hey there everyone, and welcome to Local Point. I'm your host, David Gale. Joining me in the VTV6 Studio is Anna Mae Drexel and Brad Van Fleet from the Uintah Basin Youth Chamber Orchestra. And among other things, they've got a concert coming up, or at least the youth that you work with have a concert coming up. I'm assuming that you don't necessarily play in the orchestra. We've only got 6 minutes, and there's a lot of questions I have. This is awesome. There is a youth orchestra for the Uintah Basin that's kind of an offshoot of UBOC. Am I right?
Well, kind of. Brad and I both play in UBOC and have been, strong supporters of that happening. And since that started, there's just been a huge gap as far as not a lot of kids can get into UBOC because their skill set is not quite there yet.
Right.
So this year we just started the Youth Symphony, and we've just been really excited because it gives them a playing opportunity to play real music and get really involved and kind of hopefully at some point get to UBOC if that's their goal. But it's all for kids, it's youth, it's ages 12 and up, but I mean if there are prodigies out there, you're welcome to come and audition too.
So there's no minimum age as long as you know how to play an instrument.
As long as you can play, yeah. We do have auditions that are required, so there is a standard as far as ability levels to get in.
Well, right.
But that keeps the playing level up high, it's pretty fun and makes it intense and fun to be a part of.
Okay, so I played clarinet when I was like in 6th grade, and I was absolutely terrible at it. But I imagine that the level of performance we're talking about, like you say, is greater than your typical maybe junior high. I don't know. How good are these kids?
It does attract the best in the Uintah Basin. But on top of that, it also challenges. Part of our purpose is to show the kids their true potential.
Okay.
That's with these kids. They're a great group of kids. There's 20 of them in the orchestra, and they have all risen to the challenge. There's some that have called me up and said, "Hey, Brad, I don't know if I'm good enough to be in this," and I said, "Well, come audition anyway." And they've stepped up to the challenge and
that's great.
are realizing that they can do it.
And so you have openings for more. I mean, how big of an orchestra is this going to end up being?
Well, at the moment right now it's a chamber orchestra, which means it's just strings.
Okay.
And mostly that's just because Brad and I are both string players, and so we knew, okay, we can gather the students, we can get the strings going, and really to have a full orchestra you need a really strong string section.
Sure.
So our first year is kind of focused on cello, violin, viola, bass. But hopefully at some point we'd love for it to grow into a full orchestra with, brass and percussion and woodwinds and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So that hopefully will be in the future sometime.
So do you have auditions coming up? Are they already passed?
The auditions are over. If there's someone that's interested in playing, they're welcome to come in and contact us. What's great, what I really want to talk about is that these kids, they're being challenged with the standard repertoire. We're playing stuff by Gustav Holst, Bedřich Smetana, and they're playing it at a potentially professional level.
Wow.
Yep.
And you say those names like I know what that means. That just
proves
yeah, the caliber. If you're saying names, maybe I could know Beethoven. That's about as far as it goes for me.
They're right up there with Beethoven. They're real composers.
They're real composers. This is real classical music primarily then.
Yes.
That's what we're working on. They've got a concert coming up. Tell me about that.
So the concert's November 12th. It's at the middle school at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $5 at the door. Students, elementary through high school, are free. They don't have to pay, but $5 per person just right at the door.
This is like the training camp for UBOC then. Do you see? It's excellent because it's a place where kids can go and learn from people who know what they're doing and, like you say, challenge their ability. Have you seen, this is a little bit off topic, but I wonder if UBOC is going to be branching out in the other direction as well, the singing. You guys are instrumentalists. Is this the first step for many other things?
I sing in the shower. But that's
as far as it
goes. As far as that goes, and I'm embarrassed to say that even. But But no, for now, our goals are the instrumental part of it. Debbie Spafford, she's the board chair for UBOC. We coordinate together. We're actually in process of being a part of their organization with their 501c3, and that's almost finalized. So we cooperate with them, and that is part of our goal, to be almost like a junior UBOC. Christopher Davis is another. He's not here with us, but he's a tuba player in UBOC, and we have him on board to potentially make this the Uintah Basin Youth Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, that'd be so much
with his
fun.
expertise in the wind and percussion.
That'd be great. Now, we've only got a little bit of time left, but I'm interested to know how such a great organization like this can be funded. How do we make sure that it continues to grow? Because obviously, you can't do stuff for free.
It would be great if we could just say, come and do it. But we there is an entry fee for the students, so they pay a little bit to help pay for the, music, because that all costs money. But then we have a lot of just really excited donors who are excited to make the arts happen here in the Basin. So we have a lot of donors who have donated funds to help get this started, and then
Right. Yeah, we are mostly self-funded through tuition. If there is anyone that's interested in donating, our website is ubyco.org. So Uintah Basin Youth Chamber, Orchestra.org. There's tons of information on that.
All right.
Yeah, and they can contact us through there.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys coming in. Of course, don't forget to go see these kids and their amazing talents. November 12th at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. at the middle school. I got the middle school part of it. That's it for right now. When we come back from a quick break, we're going to be joined by Mike Wilkins. He's the Uintah County Clerk Auditor, to talk about ballots you've received and important voting information. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Local Point. We're now joined by Mike Wilkins. He's the Uintah County Clerk Auditor for, well, Uintah County. That makes sense. That's why we put that at the front of your title. Thank you for joining us. You have there in your hot little hands, I saw, it looked like maybe a sample ballot.
I actually have a sample ballot also.
Yeah. So obviously, we're getting very, very, very close to the second Tuesday of November, and or is it the first Tuesday? It's the second Tuesday of November.
It's really interesting. It's the first Tuesday after the first Sunday in November.
Okay, that's what it is.
Technically, that's why this time it is actually the second Tuesday of November.
Okay, so a lot of people have gotten ballots in the mail.
Yes.
Some people aren't going to do anything with those other than throw them in the garbage, and they're going to go to their ballot locations or their voting locations.
Okay, to answer that question, there's only one polling location on Election Day, and that will be in the county building.
Okay.
There by the helicopter.
Yes.
Because everyone has mailed a ballot and has a ballot in their hands. So why have polling locations if they've already had a ballot? Why go to the expense of
that's wise.
Setting up all the polling locations? That's the purpose of doing a by-mail ballot, is that hopefully voter turnout will come up and get the ballots back to us.
So Uintah County hopes that most people will just go ahead and mail those back in.
That is our hope.
Okay, that's good to know.
We've had a whole lot actually hand walked in and delivered to us individually. Okay. And the mail's been very busy.
So I need to take that out of the garbage that I just put it in.
Pull it out of the garbage
and fill it out, and then bring it in. If nothing else, bring it in if I don't want to mail it in.
But you can vote on Election Day, but you'll need to bring that ballot with you to surrender it.
Okay.
To vote on the electronic machine if that's your
it's interesting. I didn't
choice.
realize that.
Yeah, you can still do that.
Okay.
And you can still vote right now, right up to Election Day, by bringing in your surrender and your ballot. And if you have questions on if you haven't got a ballot, please give us a call, because ballots have been mailed out. You should have received one, unless you just registered just very recently on vote.utah.gov, then it's probably still coming to you.
Okay, so obviously if you haven't registered to vote, you're not going to get a ballot. Is there any difference between the ballot that you get? I know the primary that was just recently, if you weren't Republican, you didn't get a Republican ballot. I mean, I guess tell me how the ballot system works depending on the party.
Right. In the general election, you can vote however you want.
Okay.
You can do a straight party vote if that's your choice, or you can go through and vote individual candidates of whatever party you want to vote for. You do not have to vote a straight party vote, and it does not matter how you're registered, Republican, Democrat, Independent, American, whatever. Everybody's going to get the same ballot. The only difference on the ballots will be the school board, depending on what school board district you live in.
Right.
We have 3 school board district races up this year, and depending on your locality in the county, depends on which one you're going to get. You may not get any, because there's 2 of them that is not up for election.
Okay, gotcha. So you may have seen all those signs and been excited about it, but if you don't live in that area.
That's right. If you don't live in that area, you're not going to get their ballot.
What other races are we voting for?
From the president to governor, and that's what's real interest. People come in, where do I vote for president? And that's all they want to vote on. But there is a governor race going on, the United States Senate race going on, the House of Representative District 1 is going on. There is a county commission race, attorney general for the state of Utah. This year with the presidential election is when all the state races are going to be up. You're from your state treasurer, state auditor, the attorney general, the governor, and then the House of Representative District is up for us, District 55 is up every year, every 2 years.
Every 2
when
years.
election. And then we do have a county commission seat up. There are several judges up for retention, which is just yes, no, you want to keep them in or you want to throw them out. There's no campaigning going on any of those. And there's also 3 constitutional amendments. And that's what's nice
really?
is if you got your ballot, get out of the trash can and look at it.
I need to look at that.
And go online to that vote.utah.gov, and you can pull up and see all the information on the constitutional amendments so that you're an educated voter.
Okay. And again, I'd like to give dates for if you haven't registered yet, what's the deadline?
Right. If you haven't registered yet, November 1st at 5 o'clock is the last day to register to vote.
Okay.
After that, it's too late to register. You can come in and still vote right now. You can vote if you want to bring your ballot in and surrender it, or if you've got questions. We're going to do our best to research to find out where your ballot went. If it's came back in the mail, we've received a couple hundred back in the mail returned undeliverable. We might have got it back.
Okay.
So my big thing here is November 7th, they've got to be postmarked. If you're going to put in the mail, make sure it's postmarked before November 7th. On November 8th, it's too late, hand deliver it.
You better come in and drop it off, because if you drop it in the mail, it's not going to be any good.
It's not going to have the right postmark on it, and it's not going to be counted.
Okay.
So that's the big thing right now is November 7th, postmarked by that, or hand delivered by November 8th at 8 o'clock at night.
Before I ask probably one of my final questions, I'm wondering if there's anything else that you want to make sure people know about besides those dates, making sure you bring it in on the 8th. If you haven't have it postmarked by the 7th, make sure you're registered by the 1st. What else?
The other thing I'd say is there's been a lot of questions. What about the secrecy of our ballots? There's very much secrecy there. You're not going to, we pull off a stub that we look for your signature. If your signature matches, that comes off and your ballot is put in a stack of 50. We don't know whose it is.
Okay.
Once that signature comes off, it's gone. There's no telling whose it is.
And that's just for verification of authenticity.
Right.
And then it's not even connected to that ballot.
It's not even
anymore.
connected. That stub rips off and it's not even connected.
And you have to do that for every single one of them?
Every single one of them, we pull up and verify a signature.
Are there any, in the future, are there any mandates by the government to change that procedure? I know that a lot of electronic voting, as far as the states are concerned.
The electronic machines, they are still out there. We will still have to have one for the disabled community that's out there to give them the opportunity to vote. That are hearing impaired with the freedom of voting however they want to vote without being assisted in that.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mike,
Thank
for
you.
coming in. One last time, just so that everybody remembers, November 1st, last day you register. November 7th, make sure you have your ballot postmarked by then. If it's not, then just walk in to the county building, helicopter out front in Vernal, and drop it off, and then your vote counts.
It'll count.
Vote. It's worth it. Thank you for watching Local Point. Stay tuned for this week's community calendar. We'll see you next time. Well, hey there, friends, and welcome to this week's Community Calendar presented by your local Vernal Area Chamber of Commerce. Building commerce, one member at a time. Go to vernalchamber.com to get more information about upcoming events. That was your Salty Pirate for the day. Let's get started with this weekend's schedule, shall we? Starting on Friday, October 28th, we've got state football playoff coverage. This is Monticello at Duchesne. It's going to be live at 3:50 p.m. Oh no, it's the middle of the day, but don't worry, you can watch it on VTV6 and online at your station at work if you've got a computer at vtvchannel6.com. Just don't get caught by your boss. It's totally worth it. Also on Friday, Evan McMullen, Town Hall. You know this guy. He's coming to Vernal City Hall at 7 p.m. You can meet and learn more about the presidential candidate who hails right from Utah. Hear what he has to say and whether or not maybe you should vote for him. Lastly, on Friday, it's the opening night of Tumbleweeds, downtown Vernal, Theater Live. Okay, listen. I cannot tell you how many times I have people come to me when they hear about a show, a live theater show, a performance of some kind, and say, oh, hey, can I get tickets to that? Only problem is they usually come and find me and ask me that question 2 weeks after the show is over. So here's your chance. Friday night, 7 o'clock, and Saturday night at 7 o'clock, and then on to the next week. Come see the show. It is hilarious. And this is one of those shows where you get to actually throw things at people. You get to throw popcorn at the villain, and you get to boo and hiss, and characters come out in the audience. It's hilarious. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in it, although I am hilarious. Sometimes. Now on to Saturday, October 29th, Jensen Pumpkin Festival! You got games, you got food, you got a bonfire, live music, and much more. It's at the Jensen Park from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you don't know where the Jensen Park is, head towards Jensen. Guess what? You'll figure it out because there's going to be cars all over the place. It's very well attended. You should join too. Also on Saturday at Stewart's Marketplace, it's the Stewart Marketplace Spooktacular in Roosevelt. It's so nice of them to do this kind of stuff. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. There's a Halloween lunch with a genuine witch, a spook alley, trick-or-treating, and more. We like that phrase here, by the way, Community Calendar, and more, because there's lots of stuff that we can't get to because we don't have time, and yet I'm still talking about it. Let's take a quick look at next week now, 30th through November 6th. Starting our week on Monday, October 31st. It's October 31st. Guess what? It's Halloween. Can you believe it? This year they're doing it on the 31st. The Mayor's Walk will happen at the Rec Center in Vernal. That's from 4 to 7 p.m. A lot of fun stuff at the Rec Center here in Vernal for Halloween. Every year it's the go-to place before you go out to Jensen. Learn more about that at uintahrecreation.org. Also on Halloween in Roosevelt, they're going to have a parade downtown, a Halloween parade. It's from 3 to 5 p.m. I've never been to this. I'm assuming it's Halloween themed. Guys, you've been to the Halloween parade in Roosevelt? No, they haven't been to it either. I'm interested to know about it. Write in the comments if you know what it's about. I mean, it's about Halloween. It's got to be. Be a really weird time for some other kind of parade. Now on to Tuesday, November 1st. It is the second annual Ute Tribal Enterprises Job Fair. This is open to the public. It's from 1 to 4 p.m. at UBATC in Roosevelt. That's the Uintah Basin Applied Technology College. Go check it out. Thursday, November 3rd now, 2016. I did it, dang it. It said 2016 in there. We were just talking about how I wouldn't say 2016 because of course it's 2016, and I did it. Ron Burgundy moment. Okay, again, this is the Business Innovation Summit of Eastern Utah. This is from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Uintah Conference Center. The speakers will be from the Utah World Trade Center. These are really nice people. I actually know them, and they can do a lot of stuff for local companies getting their product and services out there beyond the United States or even in the United States. You can learn more at vernalchamber.org. Also on Thursday, well, VTV, we always air the Sports Spin at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss that. Friday, November 4th, a night at the museum. So last week I told you about going to the Uintah, not the Uintah, but the Utah Fieldhouse Museum and watching a movie. I really hope that you didn't show up, or that if you did, that you looked at the dinosaurs, you had a great time, and you said, hey, we enjoyed this, because they didn't do the movie last week. They're doing it this time. Well, when I say this week, I don't mean this is, what day is this again? This is Friday. Not Friday the 28th, but Friday the 4th. All I got to do is look. The Good Dinosaur will be showing this time. Okay, I've said enough about this. Let's go on to the next one. Also on Friday, it's time for the Roosevelt Holly Fair. This is happening Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. through 8 p.m. on Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Events are happening at 4 different venues. So write this down. Crossroads Event Center, Strata Networks, USU, and the Grace Events Center. Food, crafts, woodwork, and much more. Lastly, on Saturday, November 5th, 2016, I did it again. You gotta take those 2016s out of there. Uintah Search and Rescue Roping Benefit. This is at Western Park starting at 11 a.m. and all proceeds will help Uintah County search and rescue a really good cause. Now let's get into our weekend weather. Taking a look at our graphic here on Friday, it's partly sunny with a high near 64. You know, we've stayed relatively warm through October, and even now into November we're going to be going that way, though the lows keep getting a little bit lower. We've got a low of around 45 there on Friday. Saturday looking mostly sunny, highs around 64, low of 44. Sunday, we got a chance of showers, only about 20% chance. Same highs pretty much all weekend long. Now let's take a look at next week's. There they go. We got some cloudy weather Monday and Tuesday, then it starts to warm up, or at least the sun comes out, so it'll feel a little bit warmer, even though the temperatures are starting to drop into Friday. We can see here you got a high of 54. Not sure what the lows are, but I'm going to imagine that you're getting pretty close to the 30s now. It's November. We're going to be getting our first real snow here pretty soon. Okay, that's all we have for this week's community calendar. Now, don't forget, last time I'm going to tell you about tumbleweeds. Friday and Saturday this week. Next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday with a matinee on Saturday. See, this is the good thing about hosting a show, is that I can plug whatever I want, and it happens to be my show that I'm plugging. So there you go. If you have an event coming up that you'd like me to plug, as well as tumbleweeds, 435-781-1902, or leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Like VTV6 on Facebook. It makes me feel like you like me. If you like me, like this thing on Facebook. All right. That's it. Take it easy. We'll see you later.